Haldburg's quiet revolution. In the slowest hours before dawn, the city of Haldburg slumbered beneath a heavy blanket of cobbled stone and wood-timbered walls. Nothing moved but the slow murmur of the river creeping along beside the ancient fortifications like an old man who can only remember. The townspeople woke when the guild bells tolled, their echoes steady and dull against the drafty alleyways. Emmerich, the apothecary, adjusted his thick spectacles and swept his shop stoop, watching the dusty sunrise. In Haldburg, each citizen wore their occupation like a second skin. You could spot the tanners, bakers, weavers by their scent, the stains on their hands, or the flour in their hair. Law had once belonged in the manor of the Duke who lived miles away, indifferent to the rising population clustered beneath his balcony. But in the city, something quietly thrilling had taken hold, freedom born of old air. The phrase city air makes you free crept from mouths to ledgers. Even the cats, lean and deliberate, claimed a kind of sovereignty. Nothing about life in Haldburg was hurried. When disputes arose about land, about selling rights, about the boundary of soap-smelling districts, a council of trade masters would convene. They would wash their faces, complain about the cost of wool, and vote before their mid-morning bread. The guilds ruled drilly. If you made shoes, you joined shoes. If you made candles, you joined wax. There was comfort, a tedious security in the guild lists and restrictions. Sometimes an outsider would try to sell violet ink or imported cheese. Rumors would then drift through the market like bland fog until the Kylsman, Tut Tu Tang, enforced the rules with paperwork and patience. Yet, there were those who plotted dull revolutions. A group of city managers wished for more than tidiness. They desired independence. The commune, they called themselves, met in the library with mugs of warm, weak beer. Sometimes they practiced writing letters to the feudal lord, but argued so softly that the scribe napped while waiting. These discussions could last 3 evenings, all hopeful stares and civil disagreement. Occasionally, the threat of violence shivered through Haldburg when the city militia drilled in the square, pikes glinting in the pale sun. The children yawned on the steps, picking at soft rolls while nobles glanced from carriage windows, vaguely troubled by the sight. But nothing happened quickly. If the city banners were painted, it took a fortnight for all the colors to dry. The revolution, when it flickered, did so like a candle in still air, stubborn and quiet. It was mostly a matter of ledgers, laws, and new words written with worn quills. In time, the Duke recognized that less trouble brewed behind the walls if he signed a compromise. So he did, while sipping honeyed tea. The cities won their charters, not in a clash of steel, but in an endless shuffle of parchment and sanded seals. In Haldburg, life after the revolution changed only enough to be politely noticed. Guilds still argued. Merchants still haggled. The highlight of each week remained bread, not blood. Freedom arrived as a dull, lawful wind, rustling the market canvas, whispering that even in boredom, history could be made.